Even the greatest ancient war god is just a bundle of carbon-based flesh when faced with modern technology. Today we witness a brutally one-sided duel. A 68-ton modern main battle tank facing 47,000 soldiers under Alexander the Great, the sure, invincible Iron Army that once swept the world. In this story you'll see a spectacle of over-the-horizon slaughter, but more importantly, we'll uncover a chilling truth. The godlike, dimension-reducing strikes of modern tech are often a deadly illusion. Before dawn, the dense fog has not yet lifted. Macedonian phalanx soldiers, holding 5-meter-long spears, stand in formation against the cold wind. They crushed the Persian Empire and turned formidable war elephants into meat, pulp. They have never known defeat. But 2.5 miles away, a pair of soulless eyes is already fixed on them. On the tank's infrared green screen, 47,000 human-shaped heat signatures crowd together like colonies in a petri dish. The disparity in defense is a desperate 23,000 to 1. A Macedonian spear generates roughly 110 joules of kinetic energy. The target before them can withstand millions of joules of impact thanks to composite armor. The first 105mm shell explodes above the phalanx, scattering 1,100 tungsten pellets at 1,500 meters per second. The dense formations of the pre-gun era collapse under the supersonic metal storm like dry straw. Frontline soldiers barely hear the blast before their bodies are shredded instantly. Alexander's famed heavy cavalry attempts a charge, but horses foam at the mouth and cannot catch a 70-kilometer-per-hour steel monster. The Macedonians face an incomprehensible creature. No horses required, no bows needed, killing accurately in pitch-black darkness. Blood stains the plains, the tank's treads crush broken weapons. The massacre seems inevitable. Yet Alexander, at the battlefield edge, watches the fire-breathing machine without issuing a retreat order. The undefeated war god sees the fatal weak point of this seemingly invincible one-sided slaughter. The supernatural strike that forces Macedonian veterans to their knees is merely 1,100 tungsten projectiles, supersonic, shredding bones within 700 meters. By the time the retina captures the fire, the frontline spearmen cannot even feel pain, they are vaporized. While the army's psychological defenses crumble, one person does not: Alexander himself. His eyes, having seen countless battles, observe the metal monster. Soldiers see a monster moving without horses, eyeless but lethal in darkness. Alexander sees the seconds-long reload pauses between each deafening boom. Just like against war elephants, he quickly removes fear and seeks the creature's Achilles heel. The 68-ton beast can outrun his elite cavalry, but its massive body, worn, cannot cross deep ravines or swamps easily. Worse, it does not graze or drink. Any war machine that consumes nothing is constrained by harsh resource limits. Alexander spots a deadly detail hidden by fire and chaos. This machine is utterly alone. No supply lines, no fuel convoys, no water. Every engine roar, every start, every idle burns the last of its internal fuel. The main gun carries only a few dozen rounds. Even if each shot kills 100 Macedonian soldiers, it only amounts to a few thousand casualties. For a legion of 47,000 seasoned veterans, as long as they avoid tight formations, the tank's physical lethality hits a ceiling. Alexander issues an order that would chill modern military experts: abandon frontal charges, spread out like ghosts, begin a counterintuitive encirclement. Over 40,000 soldiers attempt to starve a modern tank using their own flesh. Inside the sealed armored compartment, 4 modern soldiers, over 30 hours of continuous operation, near mental collapse, look through the greenish thermal screen and gasp. Alexander watches the battlefield, noting the machine pauses between lethal bursts and stands alone. Exposing this pattern removes the illusion of invincibility. The beast becomes mortal. This 68-ton composite armored monster has a deadly flaw: limited ammunition. A brutal math problem unfolds. 40 105mm rounds, each capable of killing 100 tightly packed soldiers, maxes out at 4,000 corpses. Behind Alexander are 43,000 soldiers, patient and relentless like wolves. Even worse, the invisible noose: fuel. In the arid plains of Gaugamela there is no aviation fuel. The 1,500 horsepower turbine burns 10 gallons per startup, 15 gallons per hour idling. With 500 gallons on board, every gauge tick brings death closer. When fuel runs out, the tank freezes, a 68-ton iron coffin. Even if the machine survives, the 4 humans inside cannot endure. 48 hours pushes human physiology to its absolute limit. After 2 days and nights without sleep, the crew's vision blurs, muscles spasm, fingers heavy on triggers. When the main gun fires its final empty click, the gas turbine dies, leaving 4 exhausted soldiers trapped in heat and darkness. Outside, 40,000 soldiers quietly dig a deep, bottomless trench around the tank. The tank's fatal weakness: its insatiable hunger and 4 vulnerable carbon-based crew inside. The combination of exhausted fuel and depleted ammo turns it into a stifling iron coffin. Classical engineering and ancient ingenuity exploit this vulnerability perfectly. Alexander has not read modern armored warfare manuals, but his eyes see war's patterns. He observes that while the beast runs over plains unchallenged, every kill is followed by a pause. It never grazes nor drinks, therefore it's constrained by extreme resource demands. Macedonian engineers adapt. They abandon dense formations, disperse like ghosts. They dig deep anti-tank trenches, build earthworks, manipulate terrain to force the beast into mud and narrow traps. The tank's speed advantage is nullified. Inside, 4 crew members face true hell. Macedonian light infantry harass incessantly. Spears and stones strike armor, creating endless nerve-shredding stress. 48 hours is the physiological limit for modern crews. After 3 days, hallucinations begin, fingers tremble, the driver may drive into a dead end. This is a reverse siege. 47,000 ancient soldiers trap one modern machine with flesh, soil, and patience. By the 4th dusk, the engine breathes one final wheeze, then dies. The last emergency power goes out. 4 soldiers suffocate in heat and darkness. Outside, the army has not charged but quietly piles corpses to form a crescent barrier. A trench just wide enough for the treads to sink ensures the 68-ton beast is trapped. When the turbine dies, Alexander's spearmen step onto the turret, announcing a brutal truth. Across 6,000 years of technological gap, war's eternal laws prevail. This pinnacle of industrial warfare becomes isolated once severed from logistics. Its 40 rounds, even if each kills 100, only affect a fraction of the enemy. For Alexander's 47,000 veterans, this is a tolerable attrition game. For the crew, it's a doomed countdown. 48 hours push human limits. Vision blurs, nerves collapse. Outside, tens of thousands of soldiers rotate, rest, replenish, and continue the siege. Devoid of modern support, even an ultimate machine is just a cold subtraction problem. No infantry cover, no satellite intelligence. The high plains of 331 BCE offer no fuel trucks. Every engine start consumes 10 gallons. Idling burns 15 gallons per hour. When the 500-gallon tank empties, fire control and thermal imaging die, the AC stops. This multi-million-dollar beast becomes a sealed, high-temperature coffin. The ultimate victor in war is never a weapon, but logistics, adaptation, and human will. Technology can dominate an era, but war's cruel rules never change. Stripped of all tech, only living humans remain to fight in the mud. Now imagine, if you were on that battlefield, would you sit in the empty, fuel-depleted tank, waiting to be pried open? Or stand among Alexander's phalanx, holding a spear, stepping on corpses to bury a machine from the future? Write your choice in the comments, and see who survives this meat grinder.